the thing about Hendon Hooker that he shared it was the first time I had heard this, to be real honest with you, and that is why he had struggled with accuracy at times in his career in Josh Heupel's offense, and why Joe Milton has struggled. It's not necessarily where you're throwing the football, it's the timing and the chemistry. And I spoke to him about that. Here is Hendon Hooker, brought to you by Zen Sports on Off the Hook Sports, as we're in Nashville for day 2 of SEC Media Days.
So tell me about Bush's baked beans. You got a special recipe, is that right?
Yeah, special recipe, passed down from my aunt to my father. And now me and my sister, make it on any occasion we have with gathering with friends and family.
I thought you might be shy coming to this event last year, but you weren't. You were awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Milton, I know, is not going to be shy. How's Joe going to be with the lights?
Yeah, Joe's going to be great. He's a vet guy. He's been in the spotlight before, over at Michigan and in this past season on the back end at Tennessee. So this is nothing new to Joe. He knows how to conduct himself, and I'm looking forward to him this season.
You've been a part of a lot of prayers. How's the knee?
He's doing great. He's doing great. Just taking it day by day. Here, 7 months removed from surgery. Just waiting on that call from the doc to clear me in a couple months.
Do you think Joe ever gets sick of hearing how strong his arm is?
No, I think he loves it. He loves it. Because not too many people can do what he does. So, no one can do what he does. This is absurd. To see somebody throw a football 100 yards, even if it's, the college ball, it's just nuts.
Why is he the guy this year? Why should Tennessee fans be confident?
Yeah, because, Joe is the best quarterback in the nation. Talent-wise, football IQ, his leadership traits. He's done a great job of bringing the team camaraderie, and continuing to push it forward as we go along, and making sure the guys know what the culture is there at Tennessee and reinforcing that every day.
I know you always had confidence, man. You said that last year, but after the past 365 and the way you played, how has your psyche changed at all, or has it?
Yeah, it hasn't changed. I think I got more of a chip on my shoulder now, just from seeing we're just going through the draft process and not being able to show everyone that I was the best player in the draft. Due to my injury and not being able to perform at the combine or have a pro day. So I'm eager to show everyone in the NFL how polished my game will be when I get a chance.
I'm sure you've looked at a playbook. How much more different is a playbook in the NFL than college?
I actually have my playbook right here.
There it is.
But it's not too much different. It's football. It's just a different verbiage, different language. Every team, but it's the same plays. It's only but so many plays you can actually run in football. So not too different. Different operation. We get to the line, different teams, and different words.
So as far as this year, do you have personal goals? I think you had personal goals last year. You didn't share them with me, though. Do you have personal goals?
Right now I'm just trying to make sure that my leg heals properly and that I'm getting back to a better me. Getting on the field and commanding the offense as I know I can, and delivering some nice strikes on the field.
There were people who thought maybe you had some accuracy issues your next to last year, your junior year. I guess that would have been your senior year, with the super senior year. But then you remedied all of that. Was there anything along the lines that were just kind of clicked?
No. I went from 67% completion rate to 69% completion rate.
Still pretty good.
And then before that, I had a 65% completion rate when there's guys out here that's not even throwing 50. So I never thought accuracy was ever my problem. Being on the same page as a receiver, different story. But I always thought I put the ball where my guy needed to get it.
So being on the same page as the receiver, that's interesting. Does that just take time?
Yeah, sometimes. And then sometimes they can see something on the field differently from the quarterback. So it's all just about us coming back to the sideline and talking about what we saw, what we thought, or hey, come out at this angle next time if they do this.
That's interesting. And I know you got to run, but I find this interesting. So sometimes an errant throw isn't really an errant throw. It's just not being on the same wavelength.
It's me thinking that the receiver might be doing something else, and then sometimes I'm trying to change the arm angle in mid-throw, and then it's a whole lot of things that goes into that.
So I guess that's Joe's challenge now, just making sure he's on the same page.
Yeah,
Simple as that.
Yeah, they've done a great job of working all summer and then working on days when they're off to get that chemistry down.
Will this offense ever be caught up, really, honestly?
I mean, you mean caught up?
The defenses, will they ever catch up to
No. It's
Josh
impossible.
Heupel's offense?
No, it's not,
Why?
it's impossible. Just from how we prepare and our football IQ we have and how we can manipulate defenses.
All right, give Jacob and Cooper a shout out if you can. They're on the podcast weekly with me.
Shout out to J. Woe and Coop Mays. My guys, love y'all to death, man.
Yeah, and they happen to be on Off the Hook Sports if you want to say that.
Yeah, Off the Hook Sports.
So that was Hendon Hooker in Nashville, SEC Media Days, Day 2. And I just really think that his future with the Lions is bright. They've restructured what they've done as an organization. And if it's not, as somebody told me, then it'll be bright somewhere else. And not that Hendon Hooker's already making plans at all for the end of his rookie contract, but yeah, here's a guy that can work incredibly hard and be a team leader for the Lions. And if they show more distant history and not being able to put things together, then you go somewhere else. But they've shown signs of life lately. And goodness gracious, can you imagine winning in Detroit, how much you would be loved?
That would go a long way. And one of the things about the interview that stuck out is, and I notice this comes from great players more than anybody else, which is they don't like it. Even if you point out something negative about it, they don't like it. I remember Peyton Manning hated when people struggled in the cold. Now, we all saw that he struggled in the cold. Like, that was not an unknown thing, but he still took it personally when he said that. Hooker didn't like any questions that he made about his potential accuracy issues in the past.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he's defensive of himself. He's defensive of Joe Milton in that regard. And so I think even if that is an issue, you kind of got to respect his moxie a little bit in the way he responded.
I agree.